All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is leaked footage of military riot shields being used to fight Texas border crossings. All right, guys, let's do it. This is coming from the channel Stealth.
In a world where boundaries define nations and policies shape lives, the Texas border has emerged as a battleground of ideals and authority. Recent leaked footage showing military personnel wielding riot shields to halt Texas border crossings has sparked a nationwide debate. What drives a state to such measures?
2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 people crossing the border illegally.
And what are the implications
That's what drove them.
for those on either side of the divide? As we delve into the complexities of this issue, join us to explore the 10 pivotal points that unravel the story behind these dramatic actions. Number 1. Immediate tension and deadline to cease blocking border patrol. In a dramatic escalation of tensions at the Texas border, the Biden administration issued a stern ultimatum to the state.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
Halt the obstruction of federal border patrol agents' access to key sections of the southern border. This directive, underscored by the looming involvement of the Department of Justice, marked a pivotal moment in the fraught relationship between state and federal authorities over border control and immigration enforcement. The administration's deadline was not merely a procedural demand, it was a clear signal of the federal government's readiness to assert its jurisdiction over border management, a move that threatened to escalate into a legal showdown with significant implications for state-federal dynamics.
Yeah, see, the problem is that, bro, you are in fact responsible for the border, but yet you're doing nothing. You're leaving it up to the states. Instead, you're telling the states to just let people in. If you were to actually care, you would actually do everything humanly possible to just immediately close the border, right? So you cannot get mad when these people that are actually being affected, like specifically in like border towns like El Paso, for example. The reason why there's so many houses for sale currently in El Paso is because people are literally running from this area. And why are they running? Because the border is basically wide open, right? So I hear what Biden is saying, guys, but if nothing happens, if there's no change here, what else do you expect for these states to do that are bordering Mexico?
Texas, under the leadership of Governor Greg Abbott, had taken aggressive steps to fortify its border against a surge in illegal crossings, actions that included physical barriers and the deployment of state military forces. These measures, while reflective of Texas's assertive stance on border security, effectively hampered the operational freedom of federal agents, sparking a contentious debate over the limits of state authority in matters of national security and immigration policy. The federal ultimatum to Texas was not just about access or operational efficiency, it was emblematic of a deeper struggle over the control and direction of immigration enforcement in the United States. At its core, this conflict raises critical questions about the balance of power between state and federal governments, the rights of states to defend their borders, and the federal responsibility for immigration control. The threat of Department of Justice intervention underscored the gravity of the situation, indicating a federal government at its wits' end, prepared to use legal means to ensure its mandates are followed, setting a precedent for how immigration enforcement challenges are addressed in the future. Number 2. Operation Lone Star and its measures. Operation Lone Star, initiated by Governor Greg Abbott, marks a pivotal moment in Texas's approach to border security. Launched as a strategic countermeasure to the surging illegal immigration, this operation signifies Texas's resolve to bolster its border defenses. At its core, Operation Lone Star mobilizes a comprehensive suite of measures aimed at deterring migrants from crossing into the U.S. illegally.
Okay. And how are they doing that?
The deployment...
Because it can't just be the barbed wire, because what they're doing is they're putting blankets over the barbed wire and still crossing. It just can't be that, but that's what seems to be the main measure that they are in fact using.
Of additional state troopers underscores Texas's commitment to enhancing its law enforcement presence along the border, a clear signal of the state's intention to stand firm on its immigration policies. In addition to manpower, Texas has innovatively employed physical barriers to fortify its border. Floating barriers and razor wire along the banks of the Rio Grande are not just physical deterrents, but also symbolic of the state's determination to control its border. These barriers are designed to navigate the complex geography of the borderlands, addressing the unique challenges posed by the natural landscape. The installation of razor wire, in particular, represents a tactical escalation in border security measures, reflecting a hardline stance against illegal crossings. As Operation Lone Star approaches its third year, its intent and components reveal Texas's multifaceted strategy to secure its border. This operation is not merely a response to immediate immigration pressures, but a clear articulation of Texas's long-term vision for border security. Through a combination of law enforcement, augmentation, and physical barriers, Texas aims to create a robust defense system capable of deterring illegal immigration effectively. This strategic initiative highlights a critical juncture in the state's approach to border security, embodying a proactive stance in addressing the challenges of illegal immigration. Operation Lone Star serves as a testament to Texas's commitment to safeguarding its borders, showcasing a comprehensive approach that integrates manpower and physical barriers in a concerted effort to protect the state's integrity and ensure the safety of its residents. Number 3. Humanitarian crisis, the drowning incident.
Ooh, okay.
In a heart-wrenching turn of events that underscores the dire humanitarian crisis unfolding at the Texas border, the tragic drowning of a woman and 2 children in the Rio Grande has brought the life-and-death stakes of the migration dilemma sharply into focus. This incident, a somber reflection of the perilous journeys many undertake in search of safety and a better life, casts a stark light on the harsh realities faced by migrants attempting to cross into the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. What they are going through in terms of having to pass through many, and I mean many, scary places and jungles, specifically having to deal with people that have no problem removing heads from bodies. Guys, keep this in mind here. Doing all of these things just to get to the United States of America. Listen, I understand your plight, absolutely. I understand you may be attempting to seek asylum. Or you're just trying to be an economic migrant in a time where the world is in fact suffering through hyperinflation. The world's economy is absolutely terrible. Bro, I get it. Trust me. But we cannot continue to take everyone. We cannot take the world's population, bro. Like the population currently, the citizens of the United States of America, the overwhelming majority are suffering right now financially. So that in itself is important, guys. We cannot help everyone else while refusing to help ourselves in this instance, guys. Right? Now, when it comes to the person who is the 2 people who are no longer here, that was absolutely a terrible situation. Right? I think that absolutely deserved to meet and to actually get to the international stage. It deserves it, right? But I'm still not exactly sure, like looking at it, right? Not trying to be super callous here, but I'm not sure it is our fault that happened, right? All of the conditions that person went through to get to that point, I'm pretty sure they could have went anywhere else, guys. I'm telling you guys, we can't consistently take the world's population. What happened was absolutely sad. It was. For the sake of humanity, I wish personally that someone could have, if they would have seen that happening, they could have helped that person and bring them back to the other side of the border, right? Not specifically over to ours, right? But over to the other one. Right? Maybe this is not the best idea for you right now, right? But again, absolutely sad.
The Rio Grande, a natural border between the U.S. and Mexico, has become a symbol of both hope and despair for thousands of migrants. However, the river's treacherous currents hide dangers that have, tragically, claimed lives. The woman and 2 children, whose dreams were cut short by the unforgiving waters, represent just a fraction of the human cost associated with the complex web of immigration challenges and border security measures. This incident not only highlights the immediate dangers faced by those seeking to cross the border, but also raises serious questions about the broader implications of border security policies and their impact on vulnerable populations. It is a stark reminder of the urgent need for comprehensive and compassionate approaches to immigration that prioritize human lives and dignity above all else.
Listen, again, what you're saying, I think is fine. But, help the people back to the other side.
The drowning has sparked widespread outcry and calls for action, underscoring the pressing need to address the root causes of migration and to find humane solutions that do not put lives at risk. It serves as a powerful testament to the human toll of the border crisis, challenging policymakers and society at large to reflect on the values and principles that should guide our approach to immigration and border security.
Okay.
As we grapple with the complexities of border policies and their enforcement, the loss of these lives must not be in vain. Instead, it should galvanize efforts towards creating safer, legal pathways for migration that honor our shared humanity and the pursuit of a better future for all.
And the thing about it is, we do have safer and legal pathways. My wife is not from the United States of America. She immigrated completely legal. Right? I mean, we do have safe and legal pathways. The problem is that they're not fast enough for people. Right? And the fact that they're not fast enough for people is the reason why there's so much line skipping and line jumping and border jumping. That's the reason. It's not fast enough. There are a lot of people, guys. There are a lot of people trying to do this regularly. But, in fact, there is an extremely legal and safe pathway.
Number 4. Legal and physical measures against migrants. In a bold and controversial move, Texas has taken decisive legal and physical measures to deter migrants from entering its borders illegally. The state, under the guidance of Governor Greg Abbott, has passed stringent laws empowering state and local law enforcement agencies to arrest individuals caught crossing into Texas unlawfully. This legislative action represents a significant escalation in the state's efforts to control its borders, reflecting a determined stance against illegal immigration that aligns with the broader objectives of Operation Lone Star.
And guys, keep in mind, a lot of these people are coming specifically not from Mexico. Obviously, we've always had a steady stream of people from Mexico coming into the United States of America, just as we've had a steady stream of Canadians coming down from Canada into the United States of America, right? But obviously, the southern border seems to be a little bit more. There's a lot more coming from through the southern border. And nowadays, there are people coming from all around the world that know all they have to do is get to a certain country in South America, and they can just come up. Because I have no idea how there are so many people from China coming, along with West Africa. Guys, we border with none of these places. All right? So this is the issue here. I think, personally, we should start giving sanctions to Mexico. Like exclusively because of how they're allowing this. Because it's crazy for us, sure, but they're in fact allowing this, guys. All right? It's like they're turning a blind eye to what's happening here. So, and I think that every single country that these people go through and the government knows should be sanctioned.
Simultaneously, Texas has implemented a series of physical deterrents designed to fortify its border. Among these measures are the installation of floating barriers and razor wire along the banks of the Rio Grande. These barriers are not merely symbolic. They constitute a tangible line of defense intended to prevent the unauthorized crossing of migrants. The strategic placement of these barriers, particularly in sensitive areas prone to high crossing rates, underscores Texas's commitment to securing its territory. The use of razor wire, a material typically associated with high-security environments, marks a significant shift towards more militarized border control methods. This approach has not only altered the physical landscape of the border, but has also raised ethical and humanitarian concerns. particularly in light of incidents where migrants, including families and children, have faced dangerous and sometimes lethal obstacles in their pursuit of asylum. These legal and physical measures taken by Texas reflect a complex and multifaceted approach to border security. On one hand, they demonstrate the state's autonomy in addressing what it perceives as a failure by the federal government to adequately secure the national border. On the other, they highlight the ongoing tension between state and federal authorities over the most effective and humane ways to manage immigration. As these measures continue to shape the dynamics of border security in Texas, they serve as a stark reminder of the challenges and controversies surrounding immigration policy in the United States. The aggressive stance taken by Texas not only affects those attempting to cross the border, but also sets a precedent that could influence future border security and immigration enforcement strategies nationwide. Number 5. Texas use of riot shields and seizure of Shelby Park. In a striking display of state authority, Texas military personnel employed riot shields in a determined effort to prevent migrants from crossing into the United States illegally. This occurred in Eagle Pass, Texas, a focal point of the escalating border crisis. Here, the use of riot shields was not merely a defensive tactic, but a powerful symbol of Texas's resolve to control its borders amidst growing tensions. The deployment of such measures underlines the severity with which Texas is approaching the situation, reflecting a broader stance on immigration and border security that diverges sharply from federal policies. Further intensifying the standoff, Texas authorities took the unprecedented step of seizing Shelby Park, a strategic location near the border. By establishing barricades and effectively denying access to the Border Patrol, Texas signaled a profound challenge to federal oversight. This seizure represents a bold assertion of state rights over federal jurisdiction, a move that has sparked considerable debate and concern. The action
Guys, it is absolutely troubling, though. Keep that in mind.
taken at Shelby Park goes beyond a mere physical blockade. It serves as a pointed statement about Texas' dissatisfaction with the federal government's handling of border security. The implications of these actions are significant, shedding light on the deep divisions between state and federal visions for managing immigration. The use of riot shields and the seizure of key territories are not only about controlling physical space, but also about asserting a political stance.
Right.
Texas's measures at Eagle Pass and Shelby Park underscore a critical juncture in the ongoing dialogue about border security, sovereignty, and the complex interplay of law enforcement responsibilities.
All right. So here's the thing, guys. This video itself is interesting. I mean, I love the fact that it's documentary-esque. It feels like that. I think it's well put together. Again, the name of the channel is Stealth. I'll go ahead and leave the full video original link in the description. But here's the thing. I just wanted to get to the point of the overall topic of the title. And yeah, it brings interesting kind of talking points up. Like, the states should, in fact, have a right to defend the state, specifically if it's a state neighboring a major border, right? I mean, that should be a real thing. Then the fact that the federal government is basically not doing anything about it is somewhat troubling. The fact that they're saying one thing and then literally just not caring, and also not even helping the states that are being most affected by these things, right? I mean, I think it took for New York to be affected in any type of meaningful way before I actually paid any attention, being from New York, right? I'm telling you, I never understood why it mattered so much, right? But what Texas did is they forced all of us East Coast coastal elites, I guess, right, to actually pay attention to what's actually happening, in other parts of the country, because being from New York, and you kind of become extremely insular and not really care at all about what's happening outside of New York. I guess just ask any native New Yorker, they'll tell you the same kind of thing. But this very specific incident at least brought to light this issue. Because trust me, I would have never known the severity. I would have never even looked it up, I'm telling you. And for the most part, my entire life, I was just like, okay, let him in. Who cares, right? I mean, this is what it is. But until it affected New York, and then you started seeing all this stuff, and it's just like, oh no, are you telling me that we as a nation allowed this to happen to Texas for that long? Oh no, we have a problem, guys. All right, and so that instantly gave me the, I guess, the motive to actually find out what's actually happening, and it's wild. I'm sorry, Texas. Right, from us native New Yorkers to you. I'm very sorry that we didn't care. I think we do now. Yeah, definitely. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.